My name is Emma-Louise. I'm 17 years old. On November 18th, 2024, something incredible happened to me. At that moment, I was dead for 8 minutes after my heart unexpectedly stopped beating while I was getting ready for school. I was in my senior year at Elizabeth High School in Lyon. I lived with my father, who was the only one supporting us after my mother moved abroad when I was 10 years old. I wasn't really in the popular crowd, but I had a small group of close friends. Most of my days were spent studying because my dream was to get into a prestigious business school. I often felt pressured, but I believed it was the way to succeed and make my father proud. I believed in a higher power, but I wasn't particularly religious. I occasionally attended youth gatherings at a local church, but my concerns were more focused on my academic results and future career. Then, everything changed. Suddenly, I found myself looking at the scene from a strange angle. I could see my father shaking me gently while shouting my name. He was on the phone with the emergency services, his voice trembling so much that he could hardly speak. I wanted to tell him I was fine, but I couldn't. I was there, but not really there. I watched him attempt CPR, just like you see on TV, but it wasn't working. My heart broke seeing his despair and fear. Then everything around me started to fade, as though an invisible hand had turned off all the lights. Yet, I wasn't afraid. On the contrary, a total sense of peace washed over me, like a child wrapped in the comforting warmth of a blanket after a bath. Once everything faded, I found myself in a place unlike any I'd ever been. The ground felt soft, like clouds, and a radiant light surrounded everything. There were no houses, no trees, just an infinite, silent space, so beautiful and reassuring, like a promised land. That's when I felt it. Before I even saw him, the air had changed, as though a new energy had entered the space. It wasn't just a presence, it was something bigger, more powerful. Pure love, a warmth so vast it overwhelmed you. Then I heard his voice, but it wasn't an ordinary voice. It wasn't loud, but it filled everything, every corner of the universe. It didn't come from my ears, but from a much deeper place, like it resonated in my soul. "Emma," he said. I turned, and there he was, Jesus. But he didn't look like the Jesus I had seen in paintings or religious images. He was young, in his 20s, with brown hair and eyes so bright it seemed as if a spark of divinity hid behind every glance. His skin radiated as though a light came from inside him, and when he smiled at me, I felt like I was the most important person to him. "Am I dead?" I whispered. He approached and said, "No, you're here with me, and there are things you need to see." He extended his hand, and when I took it, a warmth flowed through my entire body. It was an indescribable feeling, like every joyful moment of my life condensed into that instant. The comfort of hugs, the satisfaction of success, the joy of a peaceful moment. And suddenly, we were somewhere else. We were standing on a hill, and the world stretched beneath us like a map, a sea of cities, mountains, and oceans, all bathed in a soft, reassuring glow. Jesus spoke. "The time will come when darkness will cover the earth for 3 days, but before that, I will give my children 3 signs to prepare them." I saw clear images of what would happen on earth, events unfolding like a fast-forwarded movie, with people reacting differently to these signs. The first sign, he told me, would be a sound. A beautiful sound, but also one of such intensity that I had never known before. It seemed to come from everywhere at once, as if the earth itself were singing. This sound would last for 8 minutes, and every person on earth would hear it. Those who hear it would be moved, but those who pay attention will prepare. I saw people stop what they were doing, some kneeling down, others gazing at the sky, mesmerized by the sound. Some were even afraid, fleeing from what they heard. "They must prepare," Jesus told me. "They must purify their hearts, forgive each other, and open themselves to the truth." The second sign, he continued, would be lights in the sky. Colors I had never seen before danced like waves across the sky. These lights would be visible for 3 consecutive nights, and they would remind people that the hour is near. Finally, the last sign would be a complete silence, an entire hour in which everything would stop. Machines, cars, phones. A total silence, a silence that would force people to reconnect with each other, to reflect and reconcile with themselves. After all of this, Jesus looked at me with infinite tenderness. "This silence," he said, "is an opportunity for people to return to what truly matters: love, peace, reconciliation. But those who will not prepare will experience their worst nightmare, lost in confusion and fear." At that moment, I saw a scene that broke my heart. Families coming together, people praying together, but also individuals who, lost, collapsed in panic, unable to face the absence of distractions. When Jesus showed me all of this, I asked him, almost crying, "Why are you showing me this? I'm still so young. No one will believe me." He looked at me with compassion and said, "Because you still have the innocence to believe in what you cannot see. You have a pure heart, Emma, and you need to tell people what you've seen." And so, he sent me. Before I left, he reassured me, "Remember, I will always be with you, and when your time comes, I will be waiting for you." When I returned to reality, I saw my father, completely devastated, and the doctors around me shocked. The machines beeping around me, the numbers on the screens. But I knew deep down that all of this had meaning. Since that day, I've understood that my life has a purpose, and I'm here to tell you, we still have time to prepare. Forgive, love, and prepare your hearts.